Pisces, welcome to your end of July 2022 astral update. It's Raina here. Ooh. I've been getting the Ace of Cups a lot. What is this? 8 of Wands? Okay. Some of these cards I have to look at to be able to really know what they are. Oh, good. I love the Fool. Those background colors seem like Piscean colors to me for the Fool card. The blue-green. Heart of the Matter is the Star card. Of course, this is a Major Arcana card. This is associated with Aquarius, so if there's an Aquarius person who you're dealing with, and it doesn't have to be romantically, it could be a child who's, you know, featuring prominently in your life at the current time, or any other type of relationship. But you can see this is, this person's looking up to the heavens in kind of a wish fulfillment sort of way, because Aquarius rules that the 11th house, where it talks about hopes and wishes, an expectancy, I guess you would call it. So the Star card is about faith in unseen forces, which means that we don't need guarantees about things in our life in this moment in order to feel confident that they will come to us. And I think we all sometimes struggle with this, where we don't have the faith about something because we can't see it, so it's hard for us to believe it. And I always think of that book by Wayne Dyer called You'll See It When You Believe It. Because everybody goes, I'll believe it when I see it. No, you'll see it when you believe it. And so this is one of those times where there might be a struggle, but you might have already gotten the sign in some way. Because another thing that this can represent is getting some kind of contact from someone who has crossed over. And that if you were wondering, is that person okay? Are they still connected to me? You might be finding out, yes, they are. And that is instantly healing. And maybe even realizing that they've been helping you to do something, or helping you in the case like I see here in the past position, the Ace of Cups. So helping you find love. Another thing that could be with the Ace of Cups is that you have recently found somebody that you care for, and that makes you feel as if your prayers have been answered or what have you. So that gives you hope, because perhaps you've come from a dry spell and have been, feeling that you wanted a relationship or wanted somebody that could lead to a relationship. And, these things can sometimes happen when you least expect them. I personally think it's because in those situations, like if you're in the grocery store, you're not expecting to meet anybody, and so you don't have that resistance, and then something happens very randomly, or so it seems, and it's like, wow, this is not, I met my soulmate, in the fruit aisle at the store. I did not expect that. And of course, it probably was kismet. The higher message is the 5 of Pentacles. This is kind of like the spiritual lesson in all of this, which has to do with lack consciousness. If you feel like something is impossible, out of reach, maybe even for Pisces, there's always that martyrdom or that sense of karmic interference, if you will, you might feel like, hey, I deserve this for some reason. I'm being deprived of a romantic relationship because obviously I'm not nice enough of a person. Even if you're a totally nice person, you might think that there's some reason you're being punished, and then you find out that it's actually lower expectations or just general pessimism that might be more of the culprit than anything else. What crosses you is the Eight of Wands, and this is a card, I would say, of inertia, but to me it's more on the energetic than the personal level. Well, I mean, of course we can have personal energy patterns, but I'm thinking more of the collective. I don't know about anybody else, but today, I was just like, I took 2 naps. I mean, that is not like me to do that. And yeah, I have been having, going to sleep, at hours that are too late, but then I'm feeling energetic at those times, so that's what makes it hard to go to sleep then. So kind of energy disruptions or sleep disruptions. But so I think this might be more of the collective, because it almost can feel like a holding pattern, like there's something about to burst. There's something that is kind of has slowed down. And basically what the Eight of Wands can be is that things just start to fly. If you look at the wands and you think of messages, I've had this happen too, where in my inbox, it's like just crickets for a while. And then all of a sudden, it's like everything is going at once. And it's like, why does that happen? And I figured to myself, it has to be energetic. It can't be, you can't look at the law of averages or any of that kind of thing. There's something beyond that. And it's fascinating to witness, but it's kind of it's always a little bit perplexing, like, how does this even happen? So yeah, things like that is like not believing that it's going to always be like this, that you're just going to be like kind of like in this holding pattern, because maybe there's somebody that you've met, but for some reason you can't be with them, like the logistics just aren't there. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to be. And you have to make space in your life for that person. So if you're involved with somebody else, maybe this so-called holding pattern is a kind of a grace period for you to tie up loose ends. Or maybe there's something that is going to be very time-consuming in your life where you don't really have the time for relationships. So that can simply be you taking care of those issues first. What is coming in is the Three of Pentacles. This is a great card for money. It's interesting that they've got this kind of a thing, I don't know if that's supposed to be macrame, that looks like a traffic light, and to me that is kind of that go, like all systems are go, and that's how I see the Eight of Wands too, because that's the energy of career matters in particular, but anything that is passionate within a person. Another thing is if you have been wanting to launch a business, but you have fears, like the Five of Pentacles, of money issues. Also, if you have lost your job, Pisces, the Five of Pentacles can be showing that you are feeling that sense of like, oh my gosh, focusing on that aspect of it, instead of like the fact that you have been, maybe this happened for the very reason that you are meant to go in a new direction. And when somebody is just focusing on the the mundane circumstances, they can't see that there is a hidden blessing there, that it's being done to push them, nudge them out of their comfort zone so that they can, really stretch themselves and take a chance, be able to experience a new way of living life. And speaking of that, the outcome is the Fool card. This is the first card of the Major Arcana, the 0 point. And in this particular deck, they show the Fool. I'm assuming she's supposed to be the Fool, but she's backwards. And there's that cliff. And she's holding an amethyst, by the way, because this card is connected to Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and the amethyst, oh, that's interesting, just like the star card. That's why they probably have the purple background with the star card, because that's the color of the amethyst. The amethyst is the crystal of intuition, and it's associated with Aquarius, which is an intuitive sign. So, I guess in this deck, they're trying to say that this person is guided by intuition rather than logic. The Fool, you think of the person who isn't educated or isn't very intelligent, isn't very wise, but they actually have that. That's why there's an archetype of the Holy Fool, because that is something that where the person appears foolish to others, but it's actually a very wise, advanced soul. And the Fool is all about carving your own trail. Uranus is about doing things your own way. And it's interesting because sometimes, since Pisces is adjacent to Aquarius, of course, for the sun sign, you could have inner planets in Aquarius as a Pisces. But just in general, I think that Pisces people are not necessarily mainstream sorts of people either. But some of you try to fit in that way. And you risk losing your authenticity, your individuality by doing so, because you are so capable of morphing into something else. But this is about traveling your unique path, I would say, even if you don't know where it's going to take you. Okay, that's what I have for you, Pisces. I hope that this resonated, and if you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.